guys, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for another episode of our Patreon campaign. This is episode 31, called Deadly Brew. As always, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel like these fine folks you see here before you, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon. Link in the description down below. While you're clicking on that link, click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I get to unleash horrible things. I have one left over from last week, which is fun, or last time. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to the channel to do all kinds of things like art and books and paying my mortgage. Just silly things like that. That being said, let's jump right in and see what happens. Previously on The Rise. Pulled back from the claws of the Rakshasa Queen, Korax and Antares joined Mina and Seydlitz in the war room. After a mostly successful mission behind enemy lines, Seydlitz explains what he saw and what he was able to steal from the Chryserian command tent. Together with the assembled generals, plans are discussed, battle lines drawn, and missions are divvied out by the fledgling gods. You all have chosen one of what you believe to be 4 important missions on the board currently. You have all dispersed your varied troops, Mina having dispersed the caravan guards, Antares having dispersed the Knights of Redemption, Korax having dispersed all of his Greek fire, his sus fire around the city, and everyone appears to be ready to go. We're going to pick up the next morning. The morning you are all planning to leave early. But I will give you all a chance to go around. And is there anything you would have done to close out the night, or anything you would have prepared overnight for a, 0 dark 30 escape the city? We'll start with Korax. Is there anything you would have planned overnight?
Korax would have gone to see Stephanie.
Okay.
And he would have just advised her that it's starting now, basically. He wouldn't have said anything to Arua, but he would have said to Stephanie, because he had previously given her the map of the secret passages and things, so that she could escape with Arua, and he would just advise her before we went away.
Okay. She takes that information in stride. She'd actually just spoken to Antares earlier in the day about a similar sort of thing. So she was expecting information from you. You see that she has like what is essentially a go bag from the last time you spoke with her. When shit hits the fan, if needed, she can escape. Mina, what about you?
Mina just returns to the barracks and gives out whatever orders he thinks are necessary, making sure that they know how to contact him if things go south. And he is preparing for what he assumes is going to be a stealth mission, so he's using dark cloth to cover his shiny bits, I guess. His shield, his spear, anything that might rattle. Just covering it up and tying it up so that he can try to be as stealthy as Korax.
Okay. Those of you watching at home may notice an improved quality of Mina. We actually took all of last month's earnings and put it into an AI generated program to certain prompts will get him to answer certain things. So we're working on a chat interaction as well coming out next month.
That's where all the Patreon funds went.
Yeah, thanks.
Got to refill those coffers now, guys. Come on, patreon.com/unmadegaming.
Christ. Oh, what a niche reference. G, what about you? Anything, or Antares, anything she would have done to prepare for this next mission?
I don't think so. I think she still sometimes feels a little lost, like she wanders around in circles, she feels like. So I think she would just spend time assisting people where they need it. If Captain Hargan needs anything, she will help him. She will get all her things together, make sure everything is in proper working order, and yeah, I can't think of anything that she's gonna do specifically.
Okay.
Probably after she's gone, I'll be like, man, I should have did this. But maybe
You always
she'll
forget something.
yeah, maybe she'll get a good sleep.
Okay. And last but not least, Seydlitz, is there anything you would do?
Seydlitz would probably be discussing with the other generals about making sure everything is done in the proper timing, and then he'll have gone to scout out their exit route as quietly as he could.
Okay. Your exit to your egress from the city, you're talking about?
Mhm.
Okay. Fantastic. You have seen you've seen maps of the city. You know your way around. So go ahead. We'll actually have our first roll of the night here. Go ahead and make me a. Let's go ahead and make this a stealth roll. So this is going to be a speed roll. Difficulty is going to be 4, and you can use your training in stealth here.
I knew that was going to go bad.
All right, 10. Yeah, you scout. You scout ahead. You find the intended egress point from the city. A series of underground, semi-sewer, aqueductian tunnels that lead out and underneath the actual city wall. So you're not obviously traversing over it or through any of the sort of gates. And as far as you can tell, nothing is waiting for you on the other side. There are no traps laid. There are no guards positioned on the exterior of there. You feel fairly safe and confident about your choice and your egress in the morning. So you are welcome to return to your home for slumber. And we'll cut back to this same place. A place where Seydlitz had scouted just a mere few hours before. You see a set of stairs that lead down into like the aquifer, and you see a large portcullis down there that leads into tunnels. One of we'll say actually Darian is there. Darian Hargens is there, and he is the one wrenching open the portcullis, coming here to see you off, to see off his god, as she traverses into the unknown lands. Listen, don't play a god if you don't want to be prayed to, okay? Gee, I don't want to hear it.
No, that's fine. He's just remember he's not supposed to bow to me.
He's not bowing you. He's just seeing you off,
Yeah.
like a sad boyfriend on a train.
I'm okay with that, oddly enough. Pine for me while I'm gone, Darian.
Christ. It's just like the portcullis lowers. Someone waves a white.
Hands to the grave.
Yeah. Someone waves a white handkerchief.
Yeah.
Classic. Classic. He is there to see you all off, and he looks around to everyone and he says, "My knowledge of the areas north of here are lackluster at best, but I've been assured that at least a few of you have been here before. We will guard the city in your absence." Best
He
of luck.
nods, and she'll salute him.
He salutes back. Best of luck to you all.
Thank you, Captain.
And he begins to lower the portcullis behind you. You guys
We'll be
enter.
right back.
Oh, go ahead. What?
No, she just says, "We'll be right back," and as they head into the darkness.
If you've watched Scream, you know that's the last thing you say. So you head into the tunnels here. quickly the light, the burgeoning sunlight of Avi is gone. You are in the darkness here. What are you using as a light source, if anything?
Can we use something like equivalent to a pen light in fire form? So not like a huge raging like torch.
Yes,
You're holding up a match.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
called
like-
a stick with a
like a
little
like a
tiny
literally
thing.
like a flame
candle.
the size of a candle. Just
Yeah.
so.
Ironically enough,
So a
G,
candle.
those are called candles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said a candle. A candle-like thing. Do they have
Something,
candles
yes,
in-
something
in the-
roughly the size of a candle would be, in fact, oddly enough, a candle.
Yeah.
So
A mini torch.
a pen light equivalent to fire. You mean a candle?
Yeah.
So you are carrying a candle. Jesus.
Look, I don't know what kind of technology we're in. No, I'm just kidding.
Welcome back, everyone. If you weren't sure what was happening, this is it. In fact, cool. So I assume it's like a candle on like a tray. I'm just like raw dog on a candle here. So you don't quote that. So
I'll have to come back later.
guys, it's been a week. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the train has fallen off the tracks.
Yeah, it's been a time. We've all been gone for a minute here. So you're carrying a candle through these tunnels. The only person who is familiar with these tunnels, and by familiar I mean read it in a book one time, is Korax. So how are you navigating through these tunnels? You know where you're supposed to go. You know that these are like they're sewers, so they kind of are connected to everything. How are you navigating through here? Mostly a question for Korax. Unless someone's just intuiting how to travel through the sewer.
I mean, if Korax had, well, he had maps of these before.
Yeah.
He would have shown those to Seydlitz because he's not remembering his way out of here.
Okay, perfect.
Seydlitz is the one who knows where to go.
Perfect.
Are you saying the god of knowledge can't remember a map?
Maps are boring. You remember cool things like who you make stupid deals with.
He's actually the
knowledge is
god.
cool.
You'd think-
Ladies and gentlemen, the god of knowledge has dementia. Who knew?
it's actually the god of of attention deficit disorder. He knows so many things. He can't recall.
About picking which one to worry about.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he knows a lot. Conveying them and remembering them, it's a different story. So, Seydlitz, roll me intellect difficulty 4. You can use your travel skills and your navigation, and I'll give you a bonus of +1, a bonus 1 for that. Perfect. So you easily remember, based on like both seeing the map and your skills at navigation in general, you know your way through this tunnel. It's not difficult once you've figured out the layout, once you figure out how things go, where the water flows to and from. You can easily find your way out, and you do so. The exit is obviously less apparent than the entrance, but you can find that as well. It leads to a far smaller area with a similar portcullis. The wheel is on the inside, a good several feet away from the door. Typically what would happen is someone would open it, anyone would have to go in and out as they need to for like cleaning purposes, and that person would stay inside. So usually teams of 2 or more would go. You are now faced with an issue where you have to open it and also get all of you out of it. I leave that puzzle to you. One of you must open the door. The door is a good 10, 15 feet from the actual portcullis, and so you'll need to get there as quick as possible. How do you guys plan on doing that?
Well, and Terry's like looks at it. She's like, I can try holding it open for you to get through. And she looks at Mina, assuming Mina's going to be the one to crank it.
Yeah, Mina will just nod at the direction and head on through.
Okay. No roll required to crank the portcullis open. It's fairly easy. A simple feat of strength will get this open for you. So is Mina the one opening this?
Yep.
Okay. The portcullis rises as it should. No locks or breaks in the mechanism. And the three of you, Korax and Teres and Seydlitz, exit without any issue. Mina, on the other hand, what are you doing?
He's gonna hold it.
You're going to hold the portcullis? Is that what you said? I'm sorry. You're going to need to roll. I missed that part. You need to roll me a might. This is going to be difficulty 4 might check. Does any of your nonsense apply here?
Well, my divine shifts would.
Great. Yeah, the difficulty 4 might check.
I'll just add 1 effort.
That's
the first 20 I've ever rolled, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
Fucking Hodor over here holding portcullises through time.
It's like Buffy, episode 1 of season 3, when she's holding up the portcullis so all the slaves can escape.
What a specific
just like-
episode and season number. Like,
Hey, when you said there's
Exactly
a
which
portcullis and I'm gonna
time?
hold it open, I'm like, my time has come. My Buffy reference.
turns out G is also the god of ADHD. It's like time, date, stamp. Well, yeah, it aired in 1994 at 6 p.m. on UPN. Anyway, what? Jesus. What describe this epic portcullis hold as you manhandle this door?
No, she just goes over and he raises it up, probably not like super high, like maybe like shoulder height or something like that. And she just walks under and just braces, and she braces herself and like, okay, let's go. And then when he lets it go, it's like it kind of falls down on her shoulder, and she just holds it.
So, because you rolled a nat 20, you get to have a major effect on the thing you're doing.
She winks at Mina as he comes by.
Great. I was gonna say I don't know of a major effect for holding a door. Is there something you'd like the door to be able to do?
It's silent.
Great. That's a solid effect. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all the
She's
epic
able to
ways
lower
to
it
hold a
back
door.
down in silence. Yeah.
Great.
None of this ka-chunk as it lands back.
No
down.
ka-chonk, and Mina is impressed by the wink.
Not the strength, just the wink.
Hashtag Mintaries.
Oh, Jesus.
We're just gonna ship Antares to everybody. Jesus.
That's fine with that.
So you exit. Who knew we'd spend 15 minutes exiting a fucking hole? You exit the tunnels here, and you are out. The sun is fully risen in the amount of time that it's taking you to be here. It is up over the peaks, and Teres, this is now much like Samwise Gamgee. This is the furthest you've traveled away from the Shire. This is officially the furthest north you've ever been in the entirety of your life. And you see land stretch out and color and everything. You see that there are like fields and to your left in the distance you see like miles away there's like rolling hills. North of you, again, also miles, but they're huge. You see these enormous mountains that are actually floating in the air. These huge mountain peaks that are skyborne. And you can actually see even further away a giant, picture every image you've ever seen of Mount Fuji. That in the distance, far away to the north. And you see the land sort of change as you look towards the east, as it starts to get more and more degraded. And you know from storybooks and history lessons and whatever other education made for, that is where Elanehtar made landfall. That is where the gods crashed into the planet, essentially. That is the ruinscape. You see a stream trickling out from where you just were, or trickling in from where you just were, and you know that this stream somewhere connects to a slightly larger body of water, a river. Where are you headed? How are you getting there? What are you looking for? You have very little information other than north and a vague indication of places on that river.
Didn't Seydlitz know where that was?
Seydlitz knew
Because he
of
knew
a
about
spot.
the area.
Yeah, he knew of a spot he knew of an area on the river. You have no confirmation if that is or is not the actual place. It's just a pinhole in a map.
Yeah, I'm assuming we would have made a copy at least of that area, so we have a vague idea of where to go.
Sure.
And then she would crouch down on one knee and like dip her hand into the stream and drink some of it. And he's like, "All right, Seydlitz, I think we're following you on this one." And there's no army out here. Just want to confirm. Okay.
There's no army out here. There's no army out here.
Seydlitz indeed did make a sketch of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Because he ain't rolling for bullshit.
No, you can make a sketch. You have enough time and preparation to make a sketch of the map.
And he's looking at it, and it's like, basically he points in the direction up the river.
Yeah. How are you approaching this? I'm not gonna make you roll to find it. You know it's on the river, so following the river is like following a road. Real hard to get lost when you're going straight. So you guys can go upriver, no problem. But how are you approaching this as you do so?
Like literally, how are we approaching it, or how are we going to
like
approach
as stealthily as possible? Are you fanning out, 2 on one side of the river, 2 on the other side of the river? You know, you guys tell me. This is your first. This is your first act of war. This is your first actual mission that you haven't stumbled your way into. You have the advantage here.
I think we would move as quickly as possible.
Quickly
But
and quietly.
but like we can't travel. I don't really want to travel in the river. I'm assuming it's a little too rocky unless it's more smoother here.
No, it is not fun to walk in a river.
Okay.
It's also flowing against you.
Right.
It's also
and
noisy.
how wide is it at this point?
It depends. The stream you're at now is probably like 1.5 to 2 feet wide.
Okay.
But once it joins to the actual river, the river goes in certain spots from like 5 feet wide to like 15 feet wide.
Okay. And she will hoist her pack onto her shoulder, look back at them, go, "I think we have to make haste." And she raises an eyebrow at Korax.
That's fair.
You got your running shoes on?
I have shoes on.
Good.
I only have the one. Fantastic. I'm gonna have everyone roll something here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna add the patent pending unMadeGaming. Definitely didn't steal this from someone else. Travel mechanic. So you tell me something that happens along this journey north. And how you solved it, and we'll roll if necessary. So this journey is going to take the better part of a day. And not like you're not going to arrive at nighttime. It's still going to be light out there, so probably several hours, like 6 to 8 hours in this range, given that it is now like just after dawn. Keep in mind, this is unfamiliar terrain for Antares, and for Korax and Mina, it has probably been possibly years since you've been up here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it's about a year.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
And potentially more for Mina. So keep that in mind. But we'll start with Korax. You know, king of outdoorsiness.
Let's hope you stole someone else, Mike.
Well,
I'll go for
all right. G has one. She's ready.
Go on, G.
And Terry's, what is something that you encounter here, and how do you help the party get past this?
This is kind of just a bullshit response, but Korax falls in the river. He loses his foot. He's like, "Wow!" And so they have to fish him out.
You know, That's canon. I can see Korax falling in a river. That makes total, absolute sense to me. And in Terrace, you are able to fish him out of the river. Okay, I like that. I like that. We'll go
Sorry,
with
Chris.
That makes sense. He's probably reading something crap.
I think the last time we did one of these mechanics, you also did something at the expense of Korax, which is also
I don't
great.
think so.
The last one, everything bad happened to poor Seydlitz.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. What does Mina encounter, and how does he make up for it with the party?
So I think as they're progressing, the stream or river forks, and the it's not obvious which way they need to go. So Mina quickly kind of scouts ahead and realizes that it's really just forking around a bit of an little island in the middle, and it rejoins up. So he quickly just runs back to them and lets them know that they can follow either path.
Perfect. I love that. Seydlitz, what is something that happens to the party, and how do you solve the problem?
The party comes along the river and comes along a herd of insert creature name here. I don't
Oh,
know.
you know what? Interesting. I will insert a creature name here. You come across something that you know what? I don't know that anyone here has seen this before. Maybe Antares. But there's no reason for Korax and Mina to have seen this in the wild, and the people you deal with do not have enough money to afford to own one of these things. Antares, maybe you would have seen one in the palisade of some wealthy noble in Corso. You see a herd of owl hounds. They are exactly what they sound like. Imagine an owl bear, but smaller, and a dog. So they have like their skinny-ish forelegs, also have like wings up the back of them. And they actually have like a double set of wings out of their shoulder blades that are sort of folded over their flanks. Normal canine tail, and a long canine head that ends in a beak. And from their like flanks down, their rear legs are also feathered. So owl hounds, you see a herd of them. But Seydlitz, you see a herd of owl hounds. How do you deal with that?
And he's trying to help their group get around the herd without spooking them.
Okay, perfect. And a trained hunter and god of the hunt would know how to do that. So yeah, you guys see your first, possibly, herd of owl hounds. Korax, what do you do?
I figured one out, Mike.
Great.
As we're traveling along the river, we get not onto a road, but close to a road, and stumble across not a caravan, but a cart of merchants who are not stuck, but can't get into Samora because it's closed, and are waiting to figure out what's going on. Korax uses his exceptional merchant sales skills to direct them to a better location than Samora.
Great, yeah, and we know for a fact, canonically, that Korax has amazing salesman skills.
Yep.
He's
bought a book or two.
So what does he steal from them?
Yeah. How does he sell them their own goods? You redirect them to Toonbar Holdfast to the east, and perhaps maybe one day you'll see them again. So along this journey, all of these events happen. You guys continue to head north upriver as you do so. Seydlitz, I need you to roll me. Something intelligence based. It's gonna be about nature. So it's gonna be a difficulty 5 nature check. What do you have for skills when it comes to that?
Well, nature check. Obviously, I have travel skills. I have navigation, identifying tracks, eye for detail, sense ambush.
I would say identifying or assessing danger could be useful here.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay. Yeah. So, roll me a difficulty 5 intelligence with identifying or assessing danger. See what happens.
All the low rolls today.
You know, what can you do?
I know, right?
You have 1 XP if you'd like to spend it to re-roll. If
No.
not, we'll carry on.
Carry on.
Fantastic. You guys come upriver. You continue past anything that Seydlitz might have seen, and you all begin to smell as it's probably like not midday, but it's like early afternoon or mid afternoon. A little afternoon delight. It's like 3 p.m. in our time. And you can smell something acrid on the air. Like that pungent smell of like, you know, when that shitty neighbor throws some plastic in a fire and you can smell that like 6 or 7 houses down. You can smell that tinge of something that shouldn't be burning, coming towards you. Like on the wind. What do you guys do?
Let me just slow down a little bit and be cautious. Can I make an observation roll of some sort?
I will tell you. I was just thinking about this. You don't recognize the smell, but you recognize it as a chemical smell. You have familiarity with this kind of smell, not the specific, but this kind of smell in Corso, in the alchemical like districts of Corso, where weird potions and strange brews were being made.
Mm-hmm.
It has that same sort of acrid, science smell.
Yeah, so she sniffs the air. It's like someone's burning something alchemical. Do you guys smell that?
Seydlitz just kind of instinctually covers his mouth and nose with his guardian cloak just because he doesn't want to smell the smell.
She
That's
makes
fair.
a face. She just makes a face like it smells like Corso. And she keeps walking.
Okay. You continue north, upriver. The smell only gets more and more pungent. And you begin to notice that the banks of the river have like foam collected at the side of them. As if something were poured in, it bubbled and sort of got pushed to the side, to like the banks of it, and this foam has just sort of clung here. The first time you encounter it, it's like a mottled yellowish white. And as you progress further, that gets darker to like a burnt orangey brown until it becomes this strange acrid black stuff the further north you go. The entire time, that smell getting more and more pungent. Do you continue heading north?
Can Antares go? She's gonna carefully go down to the water's edge and inspect this foam. Maybe just with like the tip of her sword or something like that. Just scoop some of it out.
You easily scoop some of it up. It is very viscous and elastic. So you like scoop it up, and it's like flipping a pancake. That's the only thing I can think of. It's like it's that same kind of like sticky, and it comes out in like a large chunk, almost like a sponge cake. It comes out thick and wobbles before it slides off your blade and sort of like with a wet smack lands back in the water. It doesn't like reform like flubber would, but it like hits the water and then slowly, like as it touches, the seam sort of starts to go away of where it sort of melds back into one lump of foam.
She shoots Korax a questioning look. What do you make of this?
His face is covered up more than Seydlitz's is. He's literally covered as much as he can. Has he seen anything in his books, Mike, that behaves like this? Not necessarily this.
Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check. Would eager to learn help here?
No, that's specifically through
specifically
books
when
on
looking
law.
in books. Yeah, so I will say this is going to be a difficulty 7 intelligence task. Unless you think you have something related to alchemy, I don't see any skills you may have for this, unless you can sell me on one of them.
No, I have nothing that's gonna help.
Alrighty. So difficulty 7.
Okay. Effort. Only
spend
way
effort.
we can do this. 7.
Oh yeah, because all your divine shifts are in your book.
Yep. No success.
Okay. Yeah, you take a look at this thing, and other than like runoff of something, like you don't get much more information than what Antares has. It is clearly not natural. It is clearly some kind of reaction to something. What you're not sure. The fact that it has like it seems as though the water is because the first time you encountered it, it was white, and it's just got progressively worse as you've gone north. You would think if it's collecting and getting darker, it would be the opposite. So it appears as though somehow the water's interacting with it and leaching something off of it, perhaps. But what is causing this? And why it's sort of aquaphobic towards the sides of the river, you're not entirely sure. It is absolutely unnatural, and your educated guess as the god of knowledge, this foam and that smell are correlated somehow.
He just looks at the others and I avoided the areas that smelled like this in Corso, but it's not natural. The smell, all of this seems to go together, and it's getting worse as we get closer, so we must be on the right path.
I take
Agreed.
it we can say we found out what they're doing up here. We just don't know exactly what.
Are there any fish or waterfowl that we can see?
Interesting. There are not.
Consult the map. Are we in the area, possibly, that this dead area?
Well, here's the fun thing about maps. The one you have, it is hand drawn and doesn't have any indices on like distance. So maybe you have no way to determine where you are other than Seydlitz's awesome skills at hunting. So if you'd like to
navigation skill.
Yeah, if you'd like to roll me a difficulty 5, navigation, trail finding, path finding, something along those lines, it'd be intelligence difficulty 5.
No.
I don't know why I'm rolling it because I've rolled low all day.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? You rolled 17,
No.
perfect. You are fairly confident that you are not on the spot that the pin was, and you're not in, and you know for a fact you're not in the area that you had previously described. That you had previously described that there could be something here, but you are nearby. You know that you are on the river, and it is north of where you are, so you are approaching that area.
Are there any like cliffs or like high ground nearby?
Unfortunately, there are not. This area is fairly flat land. It was a good farming land before. There are hills to the west, but too far out, and there are mountains to the north and south, but again, too far out.
Oh, so we're in like an open plain?
Kind of, yeah. You're not in like a forest. You're in mostly open area.
Oh, okay. I thought we were in a forest. Okay. So even with the open land, we still can't really see anything.
Correct.
On the horizon. Okay.
Yeah, you know you're looking for like a valley.
Okay. All right. We keep moving then.
Well, we're here. Seydlitz points out the map. This is my best guess. And yeah, we're not very far. Maybe we could move a little bit away from the river and kind of arc our way back in.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And Terry's will lead the way.
Are you arcing to the west or to the east?
To the west.
Okay. So you guys head left into the westerlands of this towards Kaskin territory, which means nothing to Antares, but a whole lot to Seydlitz. You head that way, obviously not close enough to encounter any of the Nefar in that region before looping back at a wide sort of sweep back towards the river. You get far enough away where the smell starts to abate, and then that's kind of your point to turn and start to hook back. And as you do, that smell increases. And as you get closer and closer to the river, further and further north, you begin to hear. I assume like first Seydlitz hears it, right? You have that attuned ear to hunting. You begin to hear the sounds of non-natural activity, right? So these sounds are not made in nature, like the sound of a hammer on metal, the sound of something that is distinctly a voice, though you can't make out what the voice is saying. You definitely hear something that's not an animal call. You hear like a like some sort of grinding sound. All sounds that are not naturally occurring in nature, or at least not in this part of a plains area. You know you're coming up on something, Seydlitz. How do you approach?
Seydlitz is going to halt the group, kind of, and turn back and give like a quiet hand signal. And he's going to point in the direction that he's hearing the noise, and he's going to basically crouch walk towards it.
Okay.
Terry's does the same.
Okay. Corax and Mina, are you following suit or are you standing by?
Mina will probably let the two stealthier people go ahead. He'll stay back with Corax.
Corax had to wait to see what Mina was doing because he would stay back if he wasn't going to be alone.
Perfect. I love that for you. So Antares and Seydlitz, you crouch forward. You crouch and move forward. You are both stealthy enough that I'm not going to have you roll for this, given that there's enough noise the closer you get. You see the plains where you are sort of dip a little bit low towards as if not naturally forming. This could have been something happening in the past. You're not entirely sure, but it looks like grasslands and plains now that dips low into a valley that sort of on either side of the river. And you see poking out above the top of the valley, a metal, like an iron cast, like conical point sticking up above this, and a plume of smoke is just coming out of that. Black as tar and then dissipating into the sky. And you can see that's where the smell is coming from. And as you get closer, that conical steel thing connects to a building. Implies that it is, fully formed and four walls and all that stuff. This is barely that. This is more like a roof with four posts holding the roof up, and some sort of mechanical something is working beneath it, causing these plumes of whatever to come up here. You see that there are people walking around. There are cages. The cages contain some sort of creatures, multiple cages, each containing one creature. And Seydlitz, you see one person is in a regalia that is familiar to you, a helmet with a plume on it, looks reminiscent of the man you saw in the woods all those days or weeks ago, some sort of commander, or at least some sort of captain of some kind. You see that there are a half dozen crossbowmen sort of scattered around here, and you see that there are a combination of Sleen and Taran that are press gang. They are chain ganged together that are working some sort of machine, some sort of series of machines moving boxes as several other, what you assume to be, say, that's reanimated guards or soldiers of some kind are in the area. What they're doing here, you're not sure, but it is creating this acrid smoke, and they are dumping whatever the thing is into the river.
Seydlitz is going to move close to Antares and kind of in a low voice, enough to be heard, but not enough to be heard like over the only in the close proximity. And he's going to point out the commander to her. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's the one in charge here? Or do you think there might be more?
She scans the area. Well, he's got the fancy hat. What are they doing? What are they pouring into the water? And the source of the smell is whatever that smoke is.
Correct.
Okay. And
Yay
sorry,
for
it's
industrialization.
so that machine is producing something, and then they're taking it and pouring it into the water.
From what you can see here at this vantage point, there are crates of something being somehow utilized with this machine. One, not export, but one part of the machine is producing smoke. Another part of the machine is producing some sort of liquid that is being dumped into the river. And if there are any other production centers here, you can't see them. So if they are making something else, and that is just an extract, you can't really see that.
Do you think
And
if
how-
we
And sorry, quick question before you say something. How big is this whole operation, like roughly?
Like
size-wise?
physically size or people manning size?
Like area, like this, like half of a football field or something like that. Like how big is it?
Yeah, about a half a football field.
That's pretty big. Okay. What were you gonna
Basically,
say?
if you take a quarter and put it on one side of the river and then the quarter on the other side of the river.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Seydlitz?
So here's what I'm thinking. Even though we're going to be fighting, obviously we'll have to take out the crossbowman first. Commander taking him out early would cause some confusion, but I think they'll reorganize too quick in a front fight.
Well, they definitely have slaves.
How much
so-
could they also have slaves? How much confusion would it cause if we caused a bit of chain breaking?
Well, hopefully they're. Do the slaves look capable, or are they like pretty run down?
I'm not willing to bet they'll fight. I'm willing to bet they'll just run at first chance.
Well, you never know. She will look back down the hill and she will motion for Korax and Mina to join them, so they can see what's going on. And she will.
Yep. Mina will let Korax go first and then follow along behind.
He just looks at Mina, doesn't say anything, and just creeps forward.
Creep being the operative word.
Jesus. Oh my god. It's like, well, we
You
found
all
our
you all
little
creep up and you
operation.
see the same operation.
Now that see what is going on, can I somehow pinpoint what they're doing based on my Corso knowledge? Like, what are they creating? Like, what's this machine creating?
It would be a difficulty 7 intelligence. Alchemy would help you here.
I do not have that. I'll spend difficulty 7. I will spend 1 effort on that. Probably gonna regret that. Nope.
No, you know that you know enough to know that it is some kind of alchemy, but what it is, you have no idea.
Okay. I have no
So
idea.
smoke indicates fire. Can we see an obvious? Can we see a fire somewhere?
You cannot see a fire. Roll me observation. Seydlitz. Not Seydlitz. Mina. Difficulty. Shit. Difficulty 5.
I like how it's been so ingrained that fire equals Seydlitz has decided to burn something.
Yeah. You don't see fire. What you do see is you do see light, like a source of light, and you think this is some sort of like a kiln, as in the fire is contained within something.
Mina will just look at Korax and say, "Did you get that stuff you wanted from the alchemist?"
It's one thing I didn't mention in the thing, Mike, but Korax would have grabbed like small carryable.
I think you did.
Like a
I think you did mention
flask.
that previously. Like a flask of the
I think in the
alchemist's
last
water.
session I mentioned it.
Yep.
Korax looks to Mina and nods. And he says, do you want to start a fire in that place? I have a book that can get a fire going.
You're gonna light a book on fire?
No. The book helps me make a fire.
Oh. Wouldn't it just be easier to light it on fire? She mutters under her breath.
I mean, if you want to run in there and light a fire, sure, I can do it from here.
Good point. So Mike,
Right.
how many? You said there was guards with crossbows.
I did. I said there was half a dozen crossbowmen wandering around here. They are looking outward, not inward. There is the one commander with the plume, the hat, the captain of some kind. There are several cages containing various creatures in them, and you see that there are two other big, beefy, armored people that seem to be watching the slaves.
Okay.
Other than the crossbowmen, is there any indication of forward scouts anywhere that
No,
might be-
at least as far as you've seen with the previous roll of 17, no.
Is anyone working on or close to the machine that's in the shed? I'm going to call it a shed because that's what it seemed like. to me.
Structure.
Yeah. It's more like a little wall-less shack. I don't know what you like a gazebo. But gazebo sounds too pleasant. Yes, there are several members of the press gang that are sort of the chain gang that are there.
And does the gentleman with a plumed hat, does he ever go in there or approach the area?
In the few minutes you've been here, no. But you feel like wait around long enough and he might. But other than that, he has not gone in there yet. He seems to be more of a like a supervisoral role.
And to confirm that we're in what would effectively be long range.
Yes, currently.
Yes. Okay.
I guess final question for me. Is there any places down inside the area where we could sneak to hide? Like crates piled up somewhere, boxes, all grass.
There's the machine that could be hidden behind. There are crates and boxes, the creature cages as well. But you are imagine a grass valley. So it's very difficult to go down a grass valley and not be seen to get to those boxes. Not impossible, just very difficult.
Yes.
Corax looks at the others and says, look, and he pulls out his grimoire and he flicks through the pages. The pages, everyone else, just random scribbles. They don't look like words. But he says, this one here, I can set the structure on fire at least, but it is going to hit everyone in it. That would be enough distraction if you want to do anything. I mean, it's not going to really impact anyone who's going to shoot us or stab us.
Can we destroy structure
It could
with it?
potentially, I don't know. I've never cast this before. It just says makes big fire.
What fancy words you have in your books, Corax.
I mean, it's not really written in. And he just, like shows it to Antares. This shit doesn't make sense. Eventually, it does.
I'll take your word for it.
Is there any part of the operation on the opposite bank, or is it all contained in the one on the one side?
There are boxes and crates on the opposite bank. They are unopened, so you're not sure what they're for. There are several. Most of the larger ones are on that side, and there are several cages of varying degree of filled, either by animal or creature, on both sides of the bank.
And so there's guards on both sides of the bank as well?
There are the crossbowmen on both sides of the bank. The two like warrior-looking ones are wherever the chain gang is.
Maybe we can cause a distraction on the other side of the bank.
Or at least
Take out.
Go ahead.
I was going to say take out the guards or release the animals.
Are the animals, do they look like they're with the bad guys?
Yeah, do they look
roll
like
me.
war beasts?
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyone who wants to roll me observation, difficulty is going to be 4.
Can I argue eye for detail?
I'll take that.
Success.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look out across the way at these things. You notice that they are not all animals. You do see actually an owl hound that appears to be larger, perhaps like a matron or a bull, some sort of larger version of the owl hounds you found before, separate and secluded. With an 18, you can see that it has scars. Whether that is from capture or from use in combat, you're not entirely sure. It doesn't seem to be gnashing its teeth and trying to get out. In the remainder of the other ones, you see Nefar. So you see goblins, orcs in there that are chained to the actual bars itself. You see a Taran, a Taran, and one of the Sleen. And you see noticeably, at first you weren't sure it was a Sleen at all until its head moved up and you saw the actual snake-like crown. Because the Sleen's tail is missing. So your best guess is the humanoids are probably not working for them. Typically, you don't chain your friends to a pole. And you're uncertain if the Owlhound is working for or against. Yeah.
The machine that they have, Mike,
Yes.
I imagine that was opened, that we could see like a fire that was inside, or Mina saw that's like a fire inside.
There
Was it a
is
sealed machine.
So there is imagine like a forge, right? So there's like a hole where light was being produced. There's like imagine like an outdoor pizza oven, right? It's that hole with fire, and the lid closes. Like there's a closable door.
Are they feeding something into that hole?
Not currently. The fire door is closed. Mina saw the light coming out of it, and can assume smoke, fire, that kind of thing. But the door is closed. The fire is already lit, so they're not currently feeding it.
Okay.
Well, if we can cause a distraction, maybe smoke from that fire you create can give us cover from the opposite side of the river. And how wide is the river?
At this point, it's only 5 feet across.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm not getting in that river.
I wouldn't either.
I'm not talking about the river, but there's guards on the other side. If we can create some cover with smoke, they possibly won't be able to shoot at us if we run in there.
Horak starts flicking through his book.
Do you have something for smoke?
I can make a wall.
That's really handy, Corax.
Yep. But I think I have to be there.
Up close.
At least that's how I understand it. I didn't really want to go down there. I was hoping to stay here.
Well, you might have to move a little bit closer, right?
He starts reading through the page. No, I need to get a lot closer. Do that.
Well, if we draw the fire, then hopefully they won't notice you as much.
Okay. And he starts flicking back through the book. Mike, I want to cast something out of his book.
Okay.
I want to try something first. And
Okay.
I want to cast Lock. The door on the machine, Borax wants to lock it. So a door, gate, chest, drawer, locket, or other object that can be closed within long range snaps shut and is magically locked. Level 3 effort.
Okay. What's the distance on that?
That is long range, and it is locked for 1 hour.
Okay. Yeah, you can absolutely cast that spell. Is there a roll associated to it, or is there an expenditure of intellect?
It's a cost of 2. It doesn't say there's any
great.
roll
Yeah,
unless
perfect.
someone's holding it. So as long as no one's holding it, it's a cost of 2, and I've got 2 edge, so that's just a thing that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Korax looks at this and says, okay, fine. And he starts to read out of this spell book. Nothing seems to happen to anyone else. The door was already closed, and it now locks. He looks at it and says, first distractions in place. If I've read this right and I've done it properly, that little door on their thing can't be opened. Hopefully, someone's going to try and help. We'll get enough of them in there before I start a fire. Is G frozen?
She
is
just
frozen.
messaged on Discord that her power went out.
Oh shit. She did message in Discord.
Yeah.
Well, friends, cameras. So hang on a second here. A war gazebo.
We just lost G, everybody.
Cool. So we'll keep playing until she gets her power back.
The dummy from backstage brings the G standy.
Yeah.
The Anteri standy comes out from backstage.
It's just a meaner one with a wig.
Yeah. Someone just drew a Sharpie marker frown on it. Yeah, perfect. Absolutely. So yeah, you've locked that door, and you guys have all been informed that he has locked the door.
Okay, so are we crossing the river?
I'm not crossing the river. So what Anteri or G was saying is that there's people on the other side, and we just want to not let them shoot us.
Correct.
So we're not actually going to cross.
Okay. So we're attacking this side? Is that the plan?
Well, we can do whatever you want. But potentially they might think that their thing has blown up when I start a fire. Because right now they can't open it. And then suddenly there's going to be fire.
Yeah, that'd be quite.
So they won't know it's us.
Well,
I say do it.
yeah, let's do it. Let's see what happens, I guess. See how they react.
Korax is going to wait until they try and open that door, Mike, to find it locked. And then he's basically holding out for potentially the guy with the big plume hat or someone like that to wander in, or at least more than one person who isn't in chains.
Okay. So you're trying to... Okay. Either wait for the commander to go to the machine or wait for multiple non-prisoners to go to the machine.
Yeah. If the commander never goes, he'll take multiple non-prisoners. There's no point just setting prisoners on fire.
Yes, that would be rude, even for Korax. Okay.
How many
okay,
war
cool.
crimes can Korax commit today?
Yeah, in one go. Okay, cool. I like that. What part of it are you setting on fire? right now you have a great look at the roof and the smokestack. You have a partial view of the machine itself underneath the war gazebo.
So the spell says that fire blooms within long range, filling an area 10 foot in radius and inflicting 3 points of damage on all affected targets.
Okay.
Effort applied to one attack counts for all attacks. Even on an unsuccessful attack, the targets in the area take 1 point of damage. Flammable objects in the area may catch fire. So if he can see the machine at the base, he wants to start it in the dead center of that machine, as close to that machine as possible.
Okay, cool. So it takes some time. You sit here watching, like preparing this spell, watching to see what happens. At one point, after a while, you begin to see the smoke start to like reduce. The amount of like plumage coming out of there is reducing. And you can hear some sort of low conversation happening down the chain gang, and the two warrior-looking ones move. The two warrior-looking reanimated move towards the machine. You see them. You see one of them step out and sort of point something, like point over at the captain and say something, and the captain just sort of waves his hand as if like giving a go-ahead to do something. So you see that the chain gang has been sort of pushed out of the way while the other two are seeming to work on this. And you see one of them reach in for the door as if they are low on supplies on the door, or there's some sort of leak or fail point in the furnace itself. So you know that is your trigger. So
yeah, he's gonna start his fire at that point as they're fiddling around with the door.
Cool. Let me double check this ability here, because I did see something about attack rolls.
Yeah. So Grimoire fire blooms.
I'm
I'm gonna muzzle the others, so you should see it in the middle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Long range filling an area. Effort applied to one attack counts for all attacks against the targets in the area of the bloom. Okay, so you do have to make an attack on the people. Even on an unsuccessful attack, the target in the area still take 1 damage. Okay, fantastic. So this is going to be, we'll call this intelligence because it's magic. I don't see why it wouldn't be. So this is going to be an intelligence difficulty 5 on these guys. Sorry, difficulty 4 on these guys.
Difficulty 4. Oh. Do I want to use it? I think the first effort is free.
Yeah, the first effort is 2, so it's free.
Then I'll use my second effort for damage. No success.
Yeah, okay, yep. So no successes. Okay, so they each still take 1 point of damage. Even on a failure, they take 1 point of damage. So describe how this fire explodes into being.
So there's no visible indication that Korax has started this. From the base of the machine, right on the edge of it, those watching, so Mina and Seydlitz, may see the ground starts to, at that point, starts to smolder. The grass or whatever's there starts to blacken, and then suddenly the flames just shoot out from that point to quite a distance and just start burning everything in it. It's not a prolonged burn. It's just like the flames shoot out and anything that's in there catches, but like a burst of flames from that point.
Okay. Knowing what was going to happen, Seydlitz and Mina, do you do anything?
Seydlitz, does it look like the like more people turn to look at what the heck happened? It's like it looks like at least over half of the crossbowmen are at least looking away. Seydlitz is going to fleet of foot sprint and try to slide behind the boxes down the hill.
Ooh, interesting. You obviously see the fire explode. The fire explodes out. And welcome back, G.
Sorry.
The fire. No, you're fine. The fire explodes out. You hear the two people that get hit by the fire shout out. You see the captain sort of scrambling to figure out what's happening, and you see the 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. The crossbowmen all start to look around. As if looking for something, and you see the chain gang sort of is off to the side and huddled down. So no one's running towards the fire. In fact, you see the two people that were on fire for a second run out of the fire to see what happens if this is a prolonged fire. Corax, is this a prolonged fire, or is it like a burst of flame?
I understand it's a burst of flame, and then anything that is flammable that can catch may catch fire.
Yes. Unfortunately, you failed your roll, so nothing actually remains on fire. But you did explode some flames in there, singeing some equipment. You heard some glass break for sure. So you see the two people run out, and they are a safe enough distance away, and they start looking around. You know what? I'm gonna roll here just to see what happens.
Seydlitz is going to wait for a second.
Okay. That was a roll to see if they are smart enough to know if that was a function of the machine, like the machine malfunctioned, or if something else happened. You don't know. But they are looking around actively. No one is going there to fix this. Perhaps they are not engineers. Perhaps the engineers are not here. That is what you see, Seydlitz. You see everyone is on alert now. What do you do? What does Antares do? What does Mina do?
Mina just waits to see what the reaction is from the troops down there.
I feel like that just made them more alert.
Question, Mike. Sorry.
Yes.
Depletion rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Is that for every use of the book, or is that every series of uses? I can't remember.
I believe it is every use of the book.
Right, I need to roll you 2 depletion rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
The fire
no.
was the last use.
Ooh, the Grimoire of Dreams is no more.
Our rolls are just bad today.
You
That is
you just lost your book?
Yeah.
What
The depletion is a 1 and a d20.
One.
Oh, is it a D20? I've got it set as a D10.
Oh, wait, it's whatever it says on the book. Sometimes they're d20s, sometimes they're d10s, sometimes they're d6s.
Oh,
My cloak's
no.
a D100.
Yeah, but it's just a cloak.
It's a nice cloak.
It is a nice cloak. We'll describe what happens to the book as we'll see what happens next time. So you cast this spell. You are standing by. Seydlitz, Mina, you are standing by. Antares, you see the fire go off. People seem to be on high alert. What are you doing? The chain gang is off to the side.
Well, I have an idea, but it's not a good idea.
Those are the best.
Yeah. And how far away are we from melee range?
Long. You are long range currently.
Long range? Fuck. And in this game mechanic, how long is long range?
There's no actual
100 feet.
distances. There's like immediate, short range, and long range. And the way that movement is supposed to work is you can on a move action you can move from one to the other. So you can move from short, from immediate to short and still attack, or you can move from immediate to long and not attack.
In the Cypher book, Mike, long is 100 foot.
Oh, they do give you measurements. I think it changes in the Numenera book, but yeah. So there you go, 100 feet.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, my idea is just to walk in.
I mean, I won't stop you.
Well, I know you won't.
So, do whatever you want. Okay, how are you? Are you striding in with confidence? Are you just walking
Yeah.
in like,
No,
hey,
that's
status
why-
check, what's up?
Yeah, like that's kind of my idea that I'm posing to the group, that Antares will just walk in and be like, "What's up, fellas?"
Okay.
I mean, that's a really bad idea.
It is a really
It
bad
is a
idea.
very bad idea, but honestly, at this point, I think we're throwing stealth out the window anyway.
Yeah, because we're very far away. So we can't sneak in. So we're essentially just charging. And I have nothing ranged. The only one who has ranged is Seydlitz. And Korax. I don't know if his little speaking abilities that he has where he can just freeze people and do stuff like
What
that.
is the range, Mike?
That's what Chris just said. It's 100 feet.
100 feet. So they're at 100 feet.
Yes, about.
The closest person.
Yeah, like the machine is at 100 feet. The people on the opposite bank are further than that.
Yeah.
So you can get to the machine in this round, in this turn, and not be able to attack.
Okay, well, 100 feet.
Are the boxes within short distance?
Nothing's within short distance. You are on top of a valley, looking down into. Are you on top of like a hilly plain, looking down into a valley? You have to get down there to get access to anything.
Yeah, just for my context brain with distances, 100 feet is only 33 yards, which is not very far. If you've ever been on a football field, it's not super duper far. So
it's like a third of a football field.
Yes.
Yeah. So a little under half.
So that's Terry's idea, is just to walk in.
Could Mina will just say, could Seydlitz hit that fire with that exploding fire you have there, correct?
Seydlitz hit the arrow with what fire?
Throw the whatever container you have.
Can Seydlitz throw that far? It's probably like the size of a flask.
Unless Seydlitz is a
crossbow.
secret football player or a secret baseball player, I don't think he can throw 100 feet. That's quite a distance.
He's the god of throwing fire.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna be raining bombs down the like.
God of Molotovs.
Yeah,
I'm sure he gets an asset in it.
That's let me hold on. Let me do some quick trig here, real quick. You're on a hill. It's below the hill. That makes up for some of it. It's at a diagonal. So it's not exactly 100 feet, but still, it's like 75. Split the difference. It would be a very difficult roll, and either way, it's one use. Yeah. I will say maybe he can. I'm going to say it's like a difficulty 6 or a 7, depending on how you describe to me how you're throwing this. Difficulty 6 or a 7, and no matter what happens, that glass shatters.
And how does the balefire work? As soon as it breaks, it's exploding with fire, or
yes, it is like.
Or does it need a fire catalyst?
No, it does not need a fire catalyst.
Okay. And Terry's will hold her hand
Any
up.
of y'all have some small rope?
Small rope? No.
Oh, wait. Seydlitz has rope. Duh.
She holds her hand out for the flask.
Korax hands it over.
Hold on. Seydlitz is going to stop you. Seydlitz takes out one of his medium bolts and breaks the arrowhead off. And he's going to tie the flask to the top of one of his bolts.
It's not going to fly very far.
Yeah, it's not going to fly very far. So
it's still better than throwing.
It might actually not be. So what'll happen is you wouldn't have to break a bolt anyways. You would just tie it to it like a gift, and it will pull your arrow down a lot faster.
I do have a divine shift in my crossbow.
Now, if you want to spend God Wizard magic to try to make this happen, that's also fine. You can throw divine shifts in your crossbow all day long. Again, I'm still going to make this a difficulty 6 or 7 based on your description. That sounds like a difficulty 7 to shoot this glass thing off of your crossbow attached to a bolt. Gravity and weight will pull it down for sure.
And isn't Terry's going to throw it?
And Terry's can try to throw as well.
That's what my plan was, to walk in, get closer, and throw it at the kiln thing.
Okay.
That's my idea.
Interesting.
Well, she's doing that as she's walking down the hill. Once they spot her, Seydlitz is going to shoot the nearest crossbow person.
Okay, so it sounds like Antares is walking in, so Seydlitz is taking position to fire on somebody. Mina, Korax, what are you doing?
Mina is just getting ready to sprint in as soon as they see whatever Antares does.
Okay, so you're preparing to run. Korax.
Just before Antares leaves, as she's about to get up, and Korax is like, "You sure you want to go alone?"
You volunteering?
Well, I'm not going to be much use here. Well, not going to be much use there, but
You do have. You are quite cunning in a battle, Korax. I've seen it. So
Fox.
if you can pull some of those wily things out of your ass, that could quite be helpful.
And Mike, I'm assuming Korax at this point still doesn't know that the grimoire is depleted.
Correct.
Cool. And Korax looks at it and goes, and also when I get to that right point, I can put up the wall to stop those guys across the other side of the river. So I need to be close.
Helpful. That would be very helpful.
Come on, Chris. What's the more dramatic answer?
Oh no, I wanted it to Tim not to know. I want him to sit and go, what the fuck? Right.
Of course you don't
All right,
know.
let's do this.
All right.
I love this
Operation
scenario.
bad idea is a go.
I'm just.
I-
Have any of you all ever played the Henry Stickmin collection? Because I'm just hearing Charlie in my head going, "This is the greatest plan."
I have not, but applicable. Okay, so Seydlitz, you are preparing an action. Mina, you are preparing to run. Korax, you are attempting usefulness at close range, which is not your strong suit. And Darius is just going to boldly walk in here. Okay, cool.
I am racked, so.
Yeah. So I'll say you slide down the hill. The two of you slide down the hill easily. No like tumbling over each other. Nothing like that. Who are you trying to approach? Who are you trying to get closest to, Antares, as this happens?
Well, I guess whoever's closest. Like, I'm assuming the crossbowmen are like spread out
The
strategically.
crossbowmen are spread out, 3 on 3 and 3 on either side. But
Okay.
you know there is some sort of captain here. Are you trying to like present like you're an authority here, or who is your intent? If I stop you ahead of you getting there, that's on me. But who are you trying to go see?
I'm technically trying to get close to that kiln thing. The thing that's producing the liquid that they're pouring into the water, that's the thing that I want to throw the flask at.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So the two of you slide down the hill. I'll take. Shit, man. I'll take a stealth if you'd like to roll stealth, the two of you. It'll be a difficulty 6. If not, then that's absolutely fine. If anyone wants to roll stealth, here's your opportunity.
Yeah, well, I'll roll just to see if they notice me.
It's really just to see how
Korax is
quickly
not
they
stealth.
notice you.
Did I not put the difficulty in there?
I don't think you did.
Well, I rolled an 11, so.
So that difficulty beats a difficulty 3, which is not a difficulty 6.
Yeah.
Cool. Both of you fail. So you slide down the hill. Seydlitz and Mina, you being up top, immediately notice that there are eyes and crossbows trained on these two people doing this. And you hear from the plumed person, apprehend them! Get them out of here!
Hey, folks! And she just she comes down, she kind of stumbles a little bit, and she waves. How's it going, fellas? What are you up to over here? And she makes her way closer.
Go ahead. Go ahead and make me a difficulty 6 intelligence check for charisma of some kind.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for some more bullshit here. For my bold trait, that I get for being brash, I'm trained against all actions overcoming fear and intimidation. So can that give me an asset?
I'm gonna say no. I like the response, but somebody who was afraid or intimidated wouldn't have volunteered to slide in here and light that shit on fire. They would have absolutely taken Seydlitz' option to shoot it with a crossbow. So I feel like sliding down and be like, "Hey, neighbor,"
Difficulty 6?
is yeah, difficulty 6 intelligence.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you slide in with the hey neighbor as you try to catch these guys. You absolutely catch them off guard. There is a moment of hesitation where the crossbowmen are all just pointed at you, and you see the two like warrior-esque ones stop. They're standing near the machine still. They stop and they like look back at the commander, and the two of you can see that they are confused as to what is happening here. As a wiry, robed, fire engine red hair just slides in behind you, looking like he's incredibly out of place. They like look to the commander and they like point to you guys as if was he expecting somebody, and you see the commander respond, "No, apprehend them, cages now."
I'm wondering what you guys are up to over here. Do you need any help? My friend here's a traveler, the best you'll ever come across, and she's striding up to them like.
Corex does a very noble bow.
Fortunately
Mike,
for
can you let
you,
me know when we get to short range, please?
yeah. If you're following Antares in stride, you are in short range. I'll say you're in short range of what? Of a machine or of the people?
The plumey hat man.
The plumed hat man is not moving. The two warriors are moving towards you, and Antares is apparently walking towards the machine. So that means if you're following her, you're getting further away from the plumed man.
Oh, no, he's following Antares.
Okay.
In that case, because we're not within short range of him, Thorax is going to cast Blessings of the Gods, Protection and Silence. You create a quiet bubble of protection around you in an immediate range for 1 minute. The bubble moves with you. The difficulty of all defense rolls for you and all creatures you designate is decreased by 1 step.
Okay, so if you stay right on top of Antares, you can protect her as well. You hear the shouting. Antares, you hear shouting, and then you can hear behind you Korax muttering something, and then all of the shouting that was happening around you is muted. And you kind of have that weird movie effect where they like go through the wall or the glass. It's like that little warble. And you can hear things still, but it's a lot farther away. It sounds like. You can see Antares. The two larger men are running towards you. They are now moving quite fast as they realize you are headed towards the machine. Casually towards the machine. Seydlitz and Mina, you see that all 6 of the crossbowmen are now pointed at Antares and Korax. And let's roll initiative. Let's do some initiative rolls. So we're gonna have initiative is gonna be a difficulty 5, and we'll see what happens here.
I'm going to spend a speed point on Danger Sense to reduce my initiative roll by 1.
Alrighty.
Corex just says to Antares as they're walking and the sound starts to diminish as he's finished casting. He says, "Just stay close. I can help. I can help you fight them off, but you need to stay close."
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Hold on. Why is my initiative coming through?
Of course,
Can you
it's
guys
a
hear me?
combat episode.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay.
God, I can't spell.
Just need to step away just for a second.
Okay, so we have Mina. No, we have Korax is a He rolled that, so you're going last. Mina also going last. Seydlitz also going last, and Terry's also going last. Outstanding.
We all fail.
You all failed, but you all failed on the other two monsters as well. So the way the initiative works in with multi-level monsters is you roll. I have you roll for the highest level person, and then I'll just check the math. There is a 3 difficulty, a 4 difficulty, and a 5 difficulty, and you didn't beat any of them. So they all go before you. Perfect. So I will say Seydlitz and Mina, you have a chance to take a shot, and Mina to charge in. Mina, you will not get an attack, but you'll get to charge in.
Yeah, I think there's that moment of hesitation where Mina kind of looks at Seydlitz as if asking, "Is this the plan?" Before he just
Seydlitz shakes his head no.
and you just hear Mina go, "Shit," and he just bolts down the hill.
I love that. So you swiftly leap over, start sliding down the hill and charging towards one of the combatants. We'll find out who when the turn comes around. Seydlitz, you can take a shot at one of the crossbowmen.
All right, what's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 3.
All right, 3. Add a divine shift for that, so 2.
That hits 4 damage on him. Let me see here. He has 2 armor, so 2 damage on him. Cool. Yeah, so you fire this crossbow, sticks in the back of one of them as they are all turned around, facing Antares and Korax. Antares and Korax, you can hear that thoop, 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 sounds very far away as a volley of crossbow bolts are loosed in your direction. So there are a total of 6 of them coming for you in your direction, all of which are a difficulty 3 might or speed to get away from or to take. Well,
I have to roll 6 of them.
I will ask. G, you can take as many as you want. You can pull Korax behind you and take as many as you'd like. You have to roll for each one of them. But you tell me, of the 6, how many do you want to take?
Well, I'll roll for all of them, but if I can put Korax behind me, I definitely will.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so roll for all 6. Difficulty 3. Good.
Don't forget, the protection and silence means that all defense rolls are 1 in your favor, so you get an asset on all of them.
Great.
Jeez, this is gonna take a while. Good lord.
That
I don't know why it's
succeeds.
coming up like that. That succeeds. Okay.
It's the only downside to multi-monster combat.
Yeah. Come on, there. Asset 1.
Now with Cypher, there's so many options to click through as well for every roll.
Yeah. At some point, once you get more comfortable with the system, it makes it a lot easier to just do it in your head.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Sort of. It's a bit spotty on my end.
Yes.
Oh, an 18.
Yeah, my connection is not very good right now, so my rolls are coming through.
That's okay. We'll do a mid-combat dramatic pause until next time. Okay, 3 successes. 1 hits. 4 successes. 1 more.
Which one hits, Mike?
The 8. 8 beats the difficulty 2. She's short by
The difficulty
1.
should be 2
My-
because she had a
my-
3 plus 1 asset.
So my difficulty is technically 0 because I have my divine shifts and might defense.
Oh. Oh, okay. So then, yeah.
Plus an
you
asset,
didn't-
so. Yeah.
Great. Well, the asset's in there and the effort's in there, but the divine shift was not in there. So yeah, cool.
Well,
so all of
I'm
them-
I'm running with 0 difficulty because you can't change the.
Gotcha. That's why they're
I'm-
coming up wonky, because you're putting 0
Yeah.
difficulty.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all of those succeed. All of those, you succeed on all those, all of the arrows. So describe how these arrows don't hit you, G.
Well, I think she's gonna draw her sword and she grabs Korax quite roughly, sorry, Korax, and she shoves him behind. And I think she stands there like she's her arms on Korax and her sword's out in her other hand, and they just land on all around her.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, knocking them out of the sky.
She's being a Jedi.
Yeah.
dodging
I love
flash
that.
bolts.
I'm absolutely here for that. The 2 reanimated warriors, which are running towards you, as you are, slashing these out of the way, one of them comes up to you with a short sword sliding out of the belt loop. And he's trying to cleave across your chest. Another one, as you push Korax around, sort of tries to like bowl Korax over, as if, because you just kind of pushed him between you and the machine. So it's trying to get that out of there. So 1 is going to be a speed or might defense for you, Antares. That is a difficulty 4. You have your asset from Korax as well, and then a difficulty 4. This one's going to be might for you, Korax. No opportunity for speed.
I'm gonna use my block ability,
Oh, okay.
and I'm just gonna block him.
Which blocks him for you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so spend your points. You get blocked. Hell yeah. Korax, this guy tries to spear you, like bowl you to the ground. How do you get out of the way? What does that look like? And what is your major effect?
So Antares has pushed Korax, and as the guy comes ducking through, he just carries on with the fact that she's pushed him to get completely behind her. As he dives through and misses, he stumbles, and as he goes to the ground, Korax just dives down and just hits him in the back of the head as he hits the ground.
Hell yeah. I'll give you a free attack here. So this is going to be a difficulty. I'm going to say this is going to be a difficulty 2, down from 4 because he's knocked on his ass. So difficulty 2 might attack here, and I'll give you the 4 damage for braining him in the back of the head. As long as you succeed, I'll give you the. Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, you just like people's elbow to the back of the head of this guy. You just rain bows. As you hit the back of his head, and you feel there was maybe like an inch or 2 of space, and you hear his head crack on the ground. What an atrocious time for that man.
Like in Nemero when he was like, "You just pick up a sword, let it fall," and he's just like.
Now he's just throwing wrestler moves, flipping people over tables and shit. Out fucking standing. The commander is not in attack mode. You see him run and leap over the river. He is making his way towards the other side of the river, towards the boxes and crates that were on the other side. The boxes, crates, and cages that were on the other side. That is his action. We'll see what all of you do, and then we'll pause here for G's internet connection and dramatic effect. So you all go at the same time because you all failed your initiative roll. So whoever wants to go first can go, and then follow through that order.
I know it's probably too late to amend it now, but I actually just reread I have 2 divine shifts in dexterity. Apparently, I could have reduced that initiative roll by a further 2.
Let me double check your roll. You rolled a 6. No, that was your other thing. You rolled a 6. So you. Yeah, you would have beaten the roll.
With a 1.
Yeah, you would have beaten the roll. What that means is you go first, if you so choose. So at the top of the next initiative, we'll have you go first. So
Right.
what are you all doing now?
I'm just doing a big dude.
You're going for the one that's attacking you physically?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Difficulty 4.
And the bonus from Corax doesn't take for
Only defense.
Okay. Yes.
Success. Cool. So you do 4 damage against this soldier. He has an armor of 2. He has an armor of 3.
Damn it.
You take him down by 1 point here. Okay. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Great. That is your turn. Korax, Mina, Seydlitz, it is you.
Mina's
Fire
running
my-
down the hill. Where is that in relation to the commander that jumped over the river?
You are running down the hill. There are 3 crossbowmen, not necessarily in your way, but between you and the river. And then the commander is on the other side of the river. So you can either attack anyone on this side of the river this turn, or spend your turn running to the other side of the river.
Mina would just run to the other side of the river.
Okay, so you see, like, the crossbowmen aren't even paying attention to you. They're all focusing on Antares and Korax, and you, like, run between 2 of them, completely catching them off guard. One of them pivots towards you, confused, as you leap over the river as well, chasing down the commander. Korax and Seydlitz.
Seydlitz is going to keep trying to pick off the crossbowmen, and with my divine shifts in specifically crossbow, I'm just going to keep attacking them with crossbow.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
And so I, 1 divine shift across. What was the difficulty 4?
For the crossbowmen, 3.
3. So that's a difficulty 2 with 1 divine shift, and I just, And also with that same divine shift, I add 3 extra damage on top of that.
Jesus.
So
Cool.
that's effective damage of 7.
Yeah, hell yeah. They have an armor of 2. So a damage of 5. And I assume you're attacking the same one?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Actually, 3. It's a bonus of 3 damage for your divine shift?
I get 1 divine shift and single attack crossbow attack rolls and damage, 3 additional points per shift for a specific melee range or specific ability attack.
Okay, cool. Because you attacked him before, and we didn't account for that extra 3 damage. So I'll give him an additional
That's because
3.
I can't read.
That's okay. I'll give him 3 more damage on that. He is looking rough. You've peppered him with the crossbow bolts. He takes a knee. He's still up, but he's not long for this world. That is his action. Korax, you've mounted this soldier. You drove his head into the ground. What are you doing?
Korax looks back to where all the crossbowmen are.
Mhm.
And obviously he sees Mina running across behind them.
Yep.
As he was turning, he was ready to pull out the grimoire to try and bring up the wall, but he's concerned about Mina now, so he pushes that back. And he's going to protect himself because he's the most important one here. So he's just going to cast Resonance Field. As he does that, faint blue lines sort of crossing across his body. Not much else happens, but he just gets better protected for when people do attack him.
Okay, interesting. We have a fun little corruption bar here. You guys, you do this. You are on the ground. These lines come up. You see Mina jump across. The commander jumps across. And Terry's is toe to toe with someone. Seydlitz is sniping from the top. And while everyone is not paying attention, we see the door, the grated door to the furnace begin to glow, an amber red sort of color, and then a plume, a gout of smoke comes out of the top of this thing. The smoke is purple, and it like. The machine sort of shudders for a second, and the grate, you see flames lick out of the grates in the door. These flames turn green as they begin to kind of lick up and through the door. Another shudder and another plume of smoke rather comes out as green as well. As this thing, something's happening to this machine. Perhaps the door being locked and in the fuel supply might have been a situation here. Who knows? Who knows what's happening? We see this thing start to shake and vibrate, and there is a loud like jingle, 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 jingle of a myriad of glass bottles of varying shapes and sizes next to this machine. We see one of the boxes jiggle and shatter a bunch of the glasses, and a pool of multicolored rainbow liquid begins to leak out around the boxes and towards the machine and towards Antares and Corax. And I think that is where we end tonight's episode of The Rise. A deadly brew. I'm sure you guys will be fine. Nothing bad could have been happening in there.
It was just making fun.
Yeah, it's Willy Wonka's Magic
long
Factory.
To start this fight because we were too busy. Like, how can we approach this quietly? You can't.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen,
that's my whole thing. I'm just walking in.
That out, and I was just like, all right, when can I just go shoot something?
Yeah.
Listen,
like,
I can't give you the whole thing from the start about what you're gonna see. You got to get there.
Yeah.
Also, you guys didn't have to fight. There were other ways to destroy this thing. What they were, I don't know. You guys could have found some. Running in and saying hi.
Have you gamed with us before?
You're right. You're right. There were no other ways. I don't know what I was thinking. I apologize.
Like we couldn't sneak closer because there was nothing to cover.
Yeah, listen. This is your first actual mission that you've elected to take rather than stumbled into, and it's your first mission as a full team of demigods. I wasn't gonna make it easy for you, so yeah, I had to give you a hard one. I won't tell you which one was the hardest mission, but it wasn't this one. So
I kind of figured the assassins would have been the hardest one.
I thought this was the one we were supposed to take.
You weren't supposed to take any of them. You could choose. I had all 4 of them are prepped, so you can take any one of them. So there was no supposed to take. That being said, let's go around, do our introductions, get the hell out of here, and hopefully do an after show. We'll start with G. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hello. I'm G, your friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. You guys know. You can find me here on the Discord. I'm still on Twitter around, if anyone cares about that. Yeah, that's.
I don't know that they do anymore. I think it's a burning ship.
Everyone's just so apathetic.
I think all social media has just gone down the hole.
Yeah.
That's true. They are. It's been a bad year for that.
Didn't Threads launch flop like crazy? Because
no, it actually the opposite. It's actually blowing
I heard
up.
people didn't want to use it because of this Facebook sign-in.
That's also true, but it's blowing up everywhere. Chris, same questions. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Chris, aka Necro. You can find me in the Discord or playing Diablo. That's all I'm doing. Nothing else.
I haven't played since Final Fantasy 16 came out.
And Atari Twilight Age of Always, when that's next on...
August 19th.
Yeah,
there we go. August 19th.
That's so far away.
I know. That's it. Those are the things.
Hell
Patreon
yeah.
things.
Patreon one-shots are next weekend.
Yes, that's true. Patreon one-shots are next weekend. Norm, same questions. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Normal Snow. You can probably just find me sometimes in the Discord. Other than that, not at all.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, Matt, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
You'll find me here in the Patreon campaign, in the one-shots, and in Mike's Discord, and various other places on the internet.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it for us, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll finish this combat next time. As we said, Age of Always on August 19th. We have the one-shots coming up next weekend, July 21st, I think. Or I made that date up. It's July 21st or 22nd. I'm fairly certain.
22nd.
We launched our website. Go check that out on unMadeGaming.com. There are blogs on there. I wrote them. There are several more that I've also written that are coming out on Patreon first. So if you want to get early access to those and access to all of our after shows and other cool things, go check that out on Patreon over in the description down below. In fact, right now there's a 7-day free trial at the $5 tier, so you can see all of our cool after shows and all that fun stuff. More blogs are coming. There's a merch store update on there. All kinds of fun, cool things. And if you haven't heard already, we're going to be at PAX. We're going to do a little community thing. So we're coming to PAX Unplugged in December. Come check us out. I think you'll see most of these people there. So that'll be very cool. So check that out. But that's it from us. We will see you next time for this Unhinged Godcast.
Unhinged? What?
When have you ever been hinged?
We're just a one big hinge.
Yeah. The hinge holding the world together. This unhinged Chaos God crew next month for more of these shenanigans. So from all of us to you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.